Hey guys, just got done shooting my daily 18 minutes and just got me thinking about some of the stuff that's helped me out the most as a new archer or for new archers. Um, by no means am I a great bow hunter or a great archer, but there are some things that have helped me along the way to definitely at least see improvement in my shooting. Number one, just being research. With research, it comes down to finding the right people to learn from, because there's a lot of people out there giving advice about how to shoot better and tons of different techniques. And what you have to realize is that everyone is a little bit different. So something that works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for you, but there are some people out there who really know their stuff. My favorites are John Dudley from Knock On Archery. He's got the credentials, he's super knowledgeable, and he has so much free information out there that if you're not taking advantage of it, you're just missing out, because it's going to make you a better archer. And I go to his channel multiple times a week to try to learn something new or take another look at something that I need to work on. But he's definitely number one on the list for me. Some other good ones are Chris B. If you go to his channel on YouTube, he's got a lot of helpful stuff. He does a lot of cool, kind of informative videos, especially on like new gear, arrows, different types of setups that he uses. So definitely go check him out. He's a younger guy, and just you can really tell the passion is there. So definitely someone good to go and check out and learn from. Joel Turner is another one. He is with Shot IQ. So especially if you're struggling with target panic, he is kind of the master of that, and he really helps me start to create a process for my shooting and make my release a little bit more consistent, because you don't realize how bad, at least I didn't realize how bad I was actually punching that trigger until watching some of his videos. So he really helps with that surprise release, makes you a little bit more consistent. Some of my other ones that I like to go and look at every once in a while, Cam Hanes is up there, just because he's a bow hunter, man, through and through. He has some good motivation. He keeps you toeing the line. Just someone that's really good to look up to as a bow hunter, as an archer. And then another one would be Elk Shape on YouTube. Go check him out if you're going or getting into archery because of bow hunting. He's got a ton of stuff for hunters. That's his whole thing, testing out different broadheads, different arrow setups. He's got a bunch of information and videos on that, so definitely recommend checking that out. And then the last one would be the Podium Archer on YouTube, another guy who's super knowledgeable when it comes to archery, bow hunting. He owns his own bow shop, so he's got accessibility to tons of different setups and equipment, and he's always testing that stuff out. So if you're looking to buy a new bow or test out new arrows, anything like that, definitely go check out his videos. My number 2 rule for new archers would be to practice, and practice with a purpose. So I try to go out at least 18 minutes a day. You'd be surprised if you're not keeping up with your practice, how fast some of the things that you've learned or bad habits that you've gone away from start to come back if you don't practice after some time. So definitely put in the time for practice, and make sure that you're actually practicing something. Don't just go out there and shoot to shoot. That can be helpful, but you're not necessarily going to get any better. So each day, try to focus on one thing, whether it's your grip, your release, finding the best anchor, working on the actual position of your release, changing how much tension needs to be put on it. all of that kind of stuff is stuff that you need to focus on and just fix one little thing at a time. And then as you start to put it together, you'll start to see the improvement. One way to do that a little bit more effectively, so you don't lose some of the stuff that you've learned or gained over time, is to come up with a good shot sequence, a good process. So as you, even before you draw your bow back, getting your feet set every time, thinking about your feet, then get to your release, getting that hooked up, make sure your fingers are in the right spots, then draw your bow, make sure you get your grip perfect where you need it, find that anchor point, get your nose on the string, start thinking about your pins, your level, what your follow through is going to feel like, start pulling until that shot actually goes off. The biggest thing that I can compare that to is shooting free throws in basketball. So if you just start thinking about too many things at once, you're not going to be able to do it. So if you create that shot sequence, you can kind of check those boxes as you go along without having to focus too much on any single one thing. And that way, say I'm working on my grip one day and then the next day I'm trying to work on my release, as I get to that grip portion in my shot sequence, I just make those little checks, make sure they're in the right place, and then I can move on to what I'm actually working on without losing all of the grip work that I did the day before. So number 2, practice with a purpose and continue to get better every single day. Number three would be to start working on your own equipment. Okay, not everyone has accessibility to a bow press or stuff like that. I don't. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you can't start tinkering with your own stuff. No one's gonna care about your bow, your setup as much as you. So at the very least, start making your own arrows. Learn how to do different things on your bow, whether it's putting in a peep sight, it could be as simple as tying a D-loop. That's all stuff that you should learn, because the more invested you are in your gear, the more you know it, the more you're going to care about it, the more you're going to utilize it, and you're just going to get more familiar with your setup. And in the end, I think you're going to enjoy the whole process a lot more when you start taking care of your equipment, really understanding the fine details that go into the whole process of archery. So with that being said, try to remember those 3 rules, especially if you're a new archer. Just remember to, I'm just an amateur dude trying to get better just like the rest of you. That's some of the things that helped me out along the way to get to a pretty mediocre point in archery. But if you're not quite there yet, maybe you can get a little bit more mediocre than me. That's all I'm trying to do is help you guys out, send you in the right direction, because there's tons of knowledge out there that you guys can take advantage of. All right, guys, have a good night. Keep sending those smoothies.